Press pause, put the controller down. It's time to talk about the wrestling industry. That's right, Co-op Entertainment presents Wrestling Renaissance. My name is TJ Leo.
And my name is Cole 2K.
And this is the debut episode of our new wrestling show, Wrestling Renaissance. It's all about the WWE and the All Elite Wrestling as well. We may talk about NXT as well, but for the most part, this is going to be a main card WWE and AEW show. We'll be talking about the build-up to the shows, making our official predictions, and after each WWE Premium Live event and AEW pay-per-view, we'll be breaking down the results, seeing how we fared in our predictions, and also rating each match on the patented Co-op Entertainment scale that we use in the Press Pause Gaming podcast as well. For those that don't know, Call 2K, I sort of fished you out of the Wrestling Nation Zone Discord server.
Yep.
How long have you been in that server? I don't even know. I don't know the history of that server.
The server's been there, I think, for about 8-9 months. I've been in there pretty much since the beginning. There's, a few other people that have been there since the beginning with me, but they've grown to well over 1,000 people in there, and we've got watch parties every night, and it's a good group of people to discuss wrestling and other stuff with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they talk about gaming in there as well, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty crazy to grow to that size of a Discord server in that little amount of time. Seems impressive to me. I gotta ask them how they did that. So that we can get a Co-op Entertainment one going. But yeah, is there anything you want to talk about? Like, tell me about sort of your history with wrestling. How long you've been watching? Do you have a favorite wrestler? Do you have a favorite match, or that kind of stuff?
My early memories of watching wrestling is sitting down in my grandparents' basement in suburban Atlanta, Georgia, in the early '80s, watching not WCW Saturday Night, but the NWA TV at 6:05 on 6:05 Eastern on TBS, sitting in my grandmother's basement.
Good old TBS.
The first show I ever went to was a house show in California, San Francisco Bay Area, the Cow Palace, when I lived there. And the first TV I ever went to was the Goldberg-Hogan match at the Georgia Dome.
You were there live?
I was there live. I was sitting in upper deck. Yeah, me and my brother went there.
Wow.
That was from then up through about 2001. Every Raw, every Nitro, everyone that was in Atlanta, me and my brother were there pretty much.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep. I've gone to AEW a few times that they've been here in Atlanta, and it's a fun time. I mean, I've been around.
There's nothing like live for sure. It's much different than
it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
TV experience. Yeah.
Yep.
I've only been to one live event, but
only one.
I'm near Toronto, Canada.
Yep.
So we don't get anywhere near the sort of the traffic of WWE or AEW.
No.
We've had 2 WrestleManias? Yeah, 2.
Yeah,
right?
You've had
9
6
and 18.
And
6 and 18.
Yeah, 6 and 18.
Yeah, so unfortunately I was not. I was just becoming a wrestling fan when 18 happened. So I didn't go live, but I did watch it in like one of the big theaters. I don't know if they still do that or not. If they showcase the WrestleManias in theaters anymore.
Not really WrestleManias, just because it's so accessible on Peacock and where you're at, it's still the network.
Yeah, back then it was a big thing. I think I watched WrestleManias like 18 through 21 at the theater.
Okay.
Great experience. It's kind of like being there live because you got an actual crowd with you that are just as into it as you are. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went and saw 2 and 3 on closed circuit TV.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's how old I am.
Awesome. That's how old you are.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed you're that old. I'm probably older than you think as well, but I'll just keep my age a secret for now.
Me too.
Cool. Agreed. Yeah, the only actual event that I went to live was Raw, and it was the Raw after No Way Out. I want to say it was 2008. It was the Rock Hogan 2 pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
So at least I'm pretty sure that's the Raw. It was the Raw after that because everyone was expecting Stone Cold to come out
Mm-hmm.
on Raw, and that was either when he took his ball and went home. I think it was around that time. Something weird was going on around that time. I can't remember what it was, but Stone Cold didn't show up, and we were thinking Triple H might show up, but he didn't. And the show opened with The Rock's new Hollywood theme, so
Oh
nobody in the crowd had, besides the people that had watched the pay-per-view the night
yeah.
before. 90% of the crowd was like, "Who is this?" Because it was that long intro with the helicopter going through the
Oh
city.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and me and my dad were like, "What is this?" And then when his theme cut in, we were just like, "What?
Yeah.
The Rock's here!" And that
Yeah.
was the night that he did the infamous Toronto promo, where he was like, "You maple syrup sucking mother Canuckers," and talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and all that
Yep.
good stuff. I think the Hurricane was a big part of it when back then as well. Like it was a
Yeah.
good show. I think the main event was like a battle royal, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
But yeah, there's nothing like live wrestling. It's great.
Nope.
Yeah, favorite wrestler? Do you have a favorite wrestler, or maybe someone from your top three?
I mean, I think the Undertaker gets not a lot of flack, but when it comes to greatest evers, he kind of gets over noticed or not over. He gets overlooked. I
Overlooked.
think he
Yep.
kind of gets overlooked. Yeah. I think probably
He's got
him.
some
Just
amazing matches, man.
yep.
For me, uh, it's a bittersweet one. Kurt Angle is one of my favorites.
Can't go wrong with him.
And he didn't have a long career. I mean, he did in TNA, but I really didn't watch it by the time he came in. But he was always one of my favorites. It really sucks what happened to him, and glad he's doing better these days. But
Yep.
he was one of the best wrestlers of all time. He was so good.
Yep.
He was so good.
Very.
Do you have a favorite match or one of your favorite matches?
Just for not sentimental value, but just personal reasons, of course. Goldberg, Hogan
Oh yeah, for
at the
sure,
Georgia Dome.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, just
Peak WCW. I don't think they
peak
ever got as
WCW.
hot as that. That was it.
No. Yep. So I went from there to seeing the Finger Poke of Doom in person too. So I saw the
Oh,
highs
that's
and the lows in person. Yeah.
yeah. Did you watch the Who Killed WCW show yet?
I did watch that. Yeah. I did
It was
watch
really
all
good.
4 parts. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, I did not watch WCW, so I've learned a lot since then. I mean, they talk about WCW what seemingly on a regular basis in
Yeah.
documentaries, and
Yeah.
but seeing all them talk about it in a fresh perspective, and it was really interesting. I kind of like gravitated the most towards Eric when it came to who I believed the most. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Nash came across very like selfish the whole
He
time.
did. Yeah.
Goldberg kind of came across as kind of just this businessman who doesn't really care about the industry itself. He's just there for the
Right.
for the money and the whatever else. It was very interesting, but
Brett.
Eric's stock for me went up. I was like, oh, I kind of like you.
Yeah. It seems like for Eric, it either went up or it went way down because it
Yeah,
seemed to be all about Eric to some people.
yeah, for sure. I mean, he definitely made huge mistakes. There's no doubt about that. But the dude was young. He had more money than he had. The willpower and understanding of
Yep.
what to do with it. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for the decisions he made, but he definitely made some bad ones.
He did.
That's for damn
He did.
sure. But he also seems to own up to the bad ones and doesn't. He doesn't. He did blame a couple people, but it was mostly people above him that were
Right.
within the Turner network.
Yeah.
We really didn't
not
blame
so much people in
under.
the business, but just the
Yeah.
execs.
Yeah, he never threw anyone under the bus, I guess is the best way I can put it.
No.
Whereas like 80% of the other people they interviewed,
Yeah.
they were throwing people under the bus left, right, and center. Yeah, it was a cool show though.
Yep.
Did I say my favorite match? No, I don't think I did.
You did not.
I mean, it's tough. There's two that come to mind every single time. I think the other one is a better match, but I will go with Kurt Angle versus HBK at WrestleMania 21.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I was in the theater for that one. That was the last theater show that I went to. The crowd in the, like, I couldn't even hear like the theater, like the audio coming through from WrestleMania because the crowd in the theater was so loud for that match.
Oh yeah.
Especially towards the end. It was like I was standing on my feet. The whole crowd was on their feet. It was like we were there. It was so good. Yeah, I mean, and HBK is one of my favorite wrestlers as well. So
yeah, can't go wrong with them either.
Two of the greats for sure. All right, well, let's get into the topic of the show, which is SummerSlam 2024, coming up this Saturday. It's this Saturday, right? Holy crap.
This Saturday.
Coming up quick. So the way this is going to work is we are going to go through each match currently scheduled for the card. We are going to talk about the build-up to the match itself, what we think about it, and make our predictions for the winner. We are also going to assign confidence points to each match. So there are 7 matches on the card. And so basically the lowest, the prediction that we're not the most confident or we're the least confident about will get 1 point. And the match with the most confidence that we have that we're correct will get 7, and everything in between. And that'll kind of, we'll add that all up in the post-show to see how we did. And go from there. And that'll be in the post show next week. So let's kick things off with the inner. What's that?
I said excellent. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So we'll kick things off with the WWE Intercontinental Championship. So this is Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. This is a rematch. I believe they faced off last pay-per-view or PLE, I should say.
Yes, they did.
At Money in the Bank, which was in Toronto. I tried to, by the way, before we go any further, I tried to make it to Money in the Bank. Really wanted to go. But holy crap, our price is ridiculous for pay-per-views now. Or PLEs, whatever you want to call them. The nosebleed seats were $300.
Yep.
The lower bowl was $1,000. Ground was $3,000. And if you wanted front row, you had to submit a request to be contacted.
It's like what the same thing for Bad Blood.
Oh. I was disgusted. I was like, I remember I went to Raw for $20.
Yeah.
Now you have $300 for a worse seat.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's like tickets for Bad Blood in October in Atlanta.
That's about the same pricing there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so gross. Family entertainment, WWE. Come on now. Not many families can afford that.
Sad thing is they'll sell out.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely sell out for sure. You know what's crazy to me? I always look in the front row and there's always the green shirt guy. How does that guy afford to go to every pay-per-view?
It's the green shirt guy and the guy with the Trinidad flag.
Yeah.
So
how do they always get there? You know, and you also see Brock Lesnar guy, you know, on a lot of the pay-per-views, and I'm going to call them pay-per-views. It's going to take a while for me to change that.
It will.
Yeah. How the heck do you afford that? Green shirt guy was in Perth when they went to Australia for Elimination Chamber. I'm like,
they were in France for
Backlash.
Backlash.
Huh.
And then they were in England, they were in England for France.
Like what did you do for a living that makes you able to afford this?
Probably doctors or lawyer or something.
maybe.
Or they got
You'd think he would wear
connections.
something a little more higher
Yeah,
class than a
he
green
gets
lime
noticed, I
t-shirt.
guess.
Yeah, it's true.
That,
He does get
that's his
noticed.
gimmick.
And I bet you money he makes money off of Twitter for all the people that
I'm
follow him.
sure he does. Yep.
It's crazy. All right, got to stop track there. So Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker 2. At the last pay-per-view, Sami Zayn beat Braun Breaker pretty much clean. He did
Yeah.
have like some sort of like accident where he like hit his head on the post, or I don't know, something minor. But it was basically a clean victory in a pretty even match between the two. So now they're going back at it again. I don't know what to think about this one. This is a weird one for me. What's your thoughts on Sami Zayn and Braun?
So this this is one that I originally switched. I originally
Okay.
had Sammy winning, but I don't see how they're going to have Braun lose and still keep the steam with him like they have been. I mean, they did a good job keeping him hot after coming off the loss when a lot of people thought he was going to be buried or lose steam or whatever. But they did a lot of good keeping him hot. With this being a big, one of the big 4 pay-per-views, I don't see him losing this time. I think he'll be strong. I think he'll win strong, and I think it'll be pretty decisive.
Oh, all right. What confidence point did you assign to that match?
This one here, I gave a 5.
Okay.
I gave this one 5 confidence points.
All right. I also went with Braun Breaker pretty much for the same reasons. To have him lose twice in a row wouldn't bury him, but it would definitely kind of like make the audience start to question, like, okay, what's the deal with him then? Who cares? When it comes to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental run, I think it's been okay. For the guy who finally beat Gunther, I was hoping for a more focused reign. It's been
Yeah.
fine, but it hasn't really stood out. I think Sammy's a great wrestler. I'm definitely never gonna, say anything bad about him, but he's definitely one of those wrestlers I feel like are always more interesting chasing the title than having it.
Unless he's a heel. Unless, like when he was
Yeah.
in his, the COVID era, Sammy,
Mm-hmm.
where he was the heel,
The
I can't
conspiracy
remember
guy, right?
Yeah, the conspiracy guy when he had
Yeah.
Shinsuke and Cesaro with him.
Yeah, he's an interesting fellow. I want him to win the world title one day, but I just don't think WWE sees
I
him
don't
as
know.
that guy.
I mean, I think
Even with
Triple H
Triple H.
could, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he would need to have a little bit of an image change, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went with Braun Breaker as well. They're pushing him as, or at least it seemed like they were going to push him as the new Lesnar type of a fit. So I don't think this will be a squash match, but I think you're right in that it's going to be a pretty decisive win. It might be. Remember when Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of John Cena, and it was like a 7-minute match, 8-minute match, something like that when he came back. That might
He
be
suplexed
what
him
we
about
get
15,
here.
16 times, Germans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just crushed him.
which was at SummerSlam itself. I think might have been
Oh yeah,
either 13 or 14.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm what I'm curious about is where Braun Breaker goes from here. That's the only thing I'm curious about now. Does he go immediately into a rematch kind of thing with Sammy, or does someone else step in? I don't know. We'll kind of see where he goes from here. But yeah, I agree. Braun Breaker will win 3 confidence points on this one.
3.
That's what I said. 3.
Interesting.
Yeah. The build-up's been pretty decent. His spear is insane.
It is. It's
Might
pretty
be the
insane.
best.
I mean, better than, I don't know, Goldberg's, just because he didn't really know what he was doing.
It's definitely better.
It looks real because it probably was. Lashley's, I think it's better than Lashley's.
Yeah, we should have a topic of the week
Better than Edge's.
ranking the spears, because there's so many people that use it.
Yeah,
It's like the most common finisher of all time.
it is. Pretty common.
All right. Let's move on to the United States Championship. So this is Logan Paul defending against L.A. Knight. Yeah. What are you thinking here?
I think you can kind of see where I'm going.
Oh, not an LA Knight fan?
Well, no. In short answer, no.
In short.
Short answer, no. I mean, he's all right. I mean, he's good on the mic. Like a lot of people say, he's a knockoff Rock or a knockoff Austin. But
for sure,
I mean, he's good. He makes his own catchphrases. He uses his catchphrases a lot, and he uses them some more. I mean, the build of this one's been okay. I don't catch as much SmackDown Live as I do Raw, but I watch the highlights. This one's kind of been building up for a few months before it came to the forefront. The background or the backstage interactions between them. It's kind of built up like that. I originally had LA Knight winning because he's been chasing a title for a long time. A lot of people have been wanting him to win a title for a long time. Logan Paul would be a great person for him to beat. But Logan Paul's in Cleveland, and that's where he's from. I originally had LA Knight winning, but for my original picks, I had too many title changes. I could see Logan Paul winning, obviously by cheating, getting help from, I don't know, who's hated in Cleveland or who's someone that they can get heat with to bring in and either pass him the brass knuckles or something. But I have Logan Paul retaining.
Okay.
I don't know what that would mean for LA Knight going forward. He's got to win the title at some point, but I don't want it to be against Logan Paul. Not because I like Logan Paul, but I think the title does better on Logan being hated than it does, than it would for LA Knight.
Fair point. Yeah. Logan Paul is growing on me slowly. Kind of like a fungus.
Yeah.
It's hard to deny when someone's as good as he is in the ring, especially with as little experience he has. He's just good.
Very little.
Like, he's just good. This is not a guy who comes out and wrestles every week and goes to house shows and all that kind of stuff. He pretty much wrestles a couple times a month, maybe at most.
Maybe.
And he's good. And if he's one of those guys that I look at and I go, man, if you were full time, how good could you be?
Right?
Like, he's real good. But yeah, he's a great heel. I do like LA Knight, and my prediction is LA Knight, but only with 2 confidence points.
That's what I had, was 2 confidence points.
Yeah. Okay. So we're both on the same level in terms of confidence on this one. It could go either way. The reason I'm going with LA Knight is that for me at this point with him, it's a shit or get off the pot kind of moment where they keep pushing him, they keep making him look good, they keep doing this, they keep doing that, and he keeps losing. It's like, you gotta give him the rub at some point.
Yeah.
So I think if he loses again, it's just like eventually people are going to stop caring, and that would be a travesty for LA Knight because he's right there.
Good.
He's right there. He's there, man.
He is.
He just needs that oomph and some wins under his belt to be taken a little bit more seriously. But yeah, I like him. I hope he wins, but I didn't even think about Logan Paul being in his hometown. That should be an interesting crowd. That should be an interesting crowd.
Be fun.
All right. Let's move on to the WWE Women's Championship. So this is Bayley versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax, of course, won the Queen of the Ring tournament. back in Saudi probably 3 months ago. It's been a while now. And Bailey's been women's champion since WrestleMania.
That was the one after Payback or Backlash. That was the one after Backlash.
Yes. Right. So it's been a hot bit. She's been waiting. I'll take the lead on this because I have a bone to pick with Bailey.
Okay.
She is a much better heel than she is a face. She was. Let me rephrase. She was a fantastic baby face when she was in NXT, but she's not that character anymore. And she didn't really change her character when she went from heel to babyface this time. So she's basically heel Bailey, but not a face. But she is a face. Her run since getting the title at WrestleMania, I thought it's forgettable. Like I couldn't even tell you who she's defended the title against. I have no idea.
No, me neither.
Like, did she have a rematch with Io? I don't know. I have no idea.
No,
couldn't tell you. That's not a good sign. That's not that's not what you want to run to be with. And I get it. Like, WWE television right now is super packed with really good feuds, so it's hard to pierce that veil. And also, if you're not booked right, then you're not booked right. And I don't think she's been booked right, which is why my prediction is Nia Jax. As much as I dislike Nia Jax, can't stand her. Don't think she's good in the ring. I think she's boring. I think she has a job because she's related to the family that, practically owns the business. I can't stand her. But I think she's going to win. Just because Bailey holding onto the title is doing nothing for her or the title. So give it to a heel to run with and see who will beat her down the line. And that's my 5 confidence points on that one.
5. Okay. Probably for a lot of the same reason. I'm also picking Nia Jax. The build to this, all I know is they have a match, and it's because Nia Jax won the Queen of the Ring. If there wasn't, or if the match wasn't because of her winning Queen of the Ring, I would probably pick Bailey. But I don't think that they would. I think if they had Bailey win, that it would just be a waste of a Queen of the Ring.
Fair.
That might hint later on when I'm thinking for another match later on, but I'm not going to have a Queen of the Ring lose and have what happens later on. But yeah, I'm going to go with Nia Jax, and this one I'm a 1 confident point.
Okay. So you're the least confident in this one.
I'm the least confident on this one.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, just the least confident on this one.
Yeah, I don't. The reason I went with 5 is because I don't see any reason for Bailey to keep it.
I don't either, but
I'd be shocked if she keeps it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
unless they have something up their sleeve for this, which they might.
I mean, they could have Tiffany Stratton cash in. And I think that's part of also why I went with 1, is because I think Tiffany Stratton could play a part in it.
Yeah, so she is a part of the story between Bailey and Nia Jax, which is why I don't think it'll actually happen. Nia Jax is basically like schmoozed her way into I don't want to call it a friendship, but an alliance with Tiffany Stratton to not cash in on her and to cash in on Bailey in the event that Nia can't win the match or something like that. I can't remember the specifics, but also Tiffany doesn't have her souped up briefcase yet, from what I understand. And I feel like she's going to get her own version of a briefcase before she actually cashes it in. So I think Tiffany might hold on to it for a lengthy period of time.
But I could also see Tiffany costing Nia the match.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, doesn't cash in. She just causes her to lose.
Somehow costs her the match. Yeah.
That might be interesting. Okay, now you got me thinking. Now
Yeah.
Because Tiffany right now is not. She's like a tweener, right? She's not a heel or a face. She's in the middle.
She's supposed to be a heel. I'm sure
But she's being cheered.
yeah, she's being cheered
Yeah.
because she's
So
really
good.
good.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to turn her face, that's a good way of doing it. Save Bailey. And then Nia Jax and her have a feud, and Bailey goes on to do whatever. Oh man, now I'm second guessing myself, but I can't.
Yeah.
It's locked
Yep.
in.
But baby faces with the briefcase aren't good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Okay, so that's the WWE Women's Championship. Let's move on to the Women's World Championship. This is Liv Morgan versus the returning Rhea Ripley. This is one of the hottest feuds in WWE right now,
Yep.
which is great to see. Liv has always been sort of second tier to me. She's always behind the top women on the card, and this feud has elevated her. I think she's right up there now. She's finding herself. I think for the first time, really finding herself.
Definitely character-wise, yeah.
Yeah, character-wise for sure, absolutely. She's there. Obviously, the big question going into this match is Dominic going to turn on Rhea, or is he going to remain faithful to Rhea Ripley? You have to assume that he's going to cost one of them the match. This is not going to be a clean. Yeah.
Fumbling Dominic will cost somebody the match. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely getting involved here. It's just a matter of who is he screwing over or screwing?
Oh, probably no. Yeah.
I went back and forth on this one probably about 5 times because I can see so many different outcomes for this. I can see Rhea just dominating, and then Dominic comes out and screws her over. I can see Dominic acting like he's going to screw Rhea over and then doesn't and saves her, and we get a rematch, between the two down the line. I can see Dirty Dom screwing up, and we don't know if he actually meant to help one of them. Like, there's so many ways they could go with this. It's great booking. When there's so many potential outcomes that make sense.
Yeah,
that's when you booked correctly. Triple H does this a lot. I gotta say, he does this a lot. He's really good at this.
He is.
What I eventually landed on was Liv Morgan retaining.
Okay.
And I could talk myself out of it just like that if I wanted to. I think she's going to retain. Whether or not that is a clean victory, I don't think so. I think there will be some shenanigans with Dom. As per, is Dom going to help her on purpose or screw up and make it just looks like he screwed up trying to help Rhea, or whatever the case is? I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think Liv is going to retain here. She's just, like I said, she's on another level right now. She's rising to Rhea's level. She's there, and I think her losing here would just kind of sour that a little bit. And Rhea doesn't need the title right now. Rhea is like, she's huge right now, just insane. Is. So I don't think she needs the title. I think Liv needs the title to continue to develop that character and continue this story, because this story is not going to end here. There's no way. No. There's no way. This is this is a multi-month program for sure. So I'm going with Liv Morgan, 6 confidence points. I'm pretty confident.
Ooh, pretty confident.
That's where it's going to land. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, like you, I went back and forth. Yeah. And probably for a lot of the same reasons. I am also going with Liv.
Okay.
I think it'll be Dom accidentally costing Rhea the match. Whether it's trying to pass her something and Liv gets it, but I landed on Liv winning. 3 confidence points, just because, like you said, it could go either way. Rhea doesn't need the title, but she she never lost it to begin with.
It's true.
And just, I don't know, realistically, just the size difference. Liv is not on the same level ring wise as Rhea. Liv needs the title more. She needs that added presence. She needs that added aura of having the title with her.
Agreed. And I think they could do a lot with her with the title. Like there's still so much story.
I mean, she's a heel. People still cheer her, just like Tiffany, I guess. But I mean, I guess only in WWE can you have a character that takes no's and doesn't listen to no's. No means yes, apparently.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's only in WWE, right?
Only in WWE.
No means yes. Yeah.
Yeah, great feud. Can't wait to see it. It should be an entertaining match, no matter what. Yeah,
it should.
Rhea really is on another level. Like I can totally see her moving into the men's division. To be quite frank,
she could.
I can, like easily.
People say Charlotte could. I think Rhea could ahead of Charlotte.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, Charlotte. I don't know. I could see it, but I can definitely see Rhea against men and winning. I mean, she's good.
I think she's surpassed anything that China was as far as going against men.
100%. All respect in the world of China, but yeah, yep. she could easily. If China can win a men's championship,
yep,
there's no reason Rhea can't.
Nope.
None at all. Agreed. All right. Enough about the women. Back to the men.
Back to the men.
Time for back to the men. It's
back to the
World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest defends against Gunther. And that is due to Gunther, however you want to say his name.
Depends on where you're from.
Yeah, I guess so. Why they just didn't keep it as Walter, I don't know. Because they wanted to own the name, I'm sure.
Yep.
Gunther won King of the Ring, which gave him the opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, no matter who the champion was, just like with Nia Jackson Bailey. There's I won't say this is a super hot feud, but it does have some moving parts that I think we need to be aware of. So, Damian is going in this as a face. He's going in as representing the everyman, and Gunther is going in saying, you're street trash, you're worthless, you're classless, all this kind of stuff. But they keep teasing Finn Balor doing something funky in the backstage vignettes. He's always just like kind of questioning Damian, giving him the look when he walks away. What is that? I don't know that. Some have speculated that Finn actually might get involved in the Liv Morgan Rhea match, and it'll be Finn is actually with Liv, not Dom. I don't personally think that's the case. I think if he's going to get involved with something, it'll be this Damian Priest Gunther match. I can totally see Finn Balor screwing over Damian, which leads to a Damian and Finn feud, and the inevitable Judgment Day collapse. But I can also just see this being a clean match. I went back and forth on this one too, I'm not going to lie. This one I'm a little less confident in. But as much as I want to see Damian Priest win, because I'm a big fan of his.
Oh no.
I knew he was going to be a world champion at, I think it was Backlash Puerto Rico. I think it was when that happened. It was him versus Bad Bunny, and it was just you could see star power in him. It was obvious. So I'm a big fan of Damian Priest, but I think Gunther's gonna take this. I don't think he should, but I think Gunther's gonna take it. 4 confidence points on this one.
Okay, I've kind of lost track of my confidence points, but I think I can get it. I didn't want it. Now this one here, I kind of went back and forth. At first, if you asked me a week ago, I would have put 7 confidence points on Gunther. They built him up, King General. They've kept him off TV since not since losing his title, but since winning King of the Ring.
Yeah.
They've kind of built him up over vignettes. He hasn't. Well, he had a match this week against Finn, beat the snot out of him.
Yeah.
But in the
Sounds like
last
Gunther.
month or so, they've done a good job of building up Damian Priest for me.
Mm-hmm.
The backstage thing they had on Monday. I know they're having a 24/7 special or whatever they want to call it. The documentary on him that's going to be on Peacock. They've done a good job of building him up as a credible champion. Like you said, he's kind of playing the underdog role against snobby Gunther. I think this one, you're going to have a King of the Ring lose. I think Damian Priest is going to win. I put that. I'm thinking Damian Priest is going to hold on to it, and that's going to be a statement victory for his title reign. Because up until now, his title reign has been, it's definitely lacked way far behind Cody's.
Oh yeah,
as far
definitely.
as a world title. So
far behind Seth's world title reign before him as well.
Yep.
But I agree with you. I think the right call is for Damian to win, to get exactly what you said, get that official win to say, you know what? Screw all of you. I am that damn good, and I'm good enough to beat Gunther.
Kind of what Swerve did in AEW by beating Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Agreed. What was your confidence points on that? You said you considered 7, but you changed it.
That was before they started building Priest up. Honestly, do you have what I've said before? What I've said up until now?
I haven't heard you say you've said 1. You haven't said 7. Not sure.
I think Sammy and Braun, I said 4. Logan and LA, I said 2. We'll go 3. Nope, I said 3 for Liv.
Oh, so you're 5 and you're 6, or I think.
We'll go 5.
You're 5.
5 on this one. Yep.
Yeah. You're 5, 6, and 7 are the ones.
Yep.
Left.
Yep. I'm going 5.
Okay. But yeah, I hope you're right. As a fan of Damian Priest, I think he doesn't get anywhere near enough credit that he deserves, and I think a lot of people crapped on him for the botch at Money in the Bank that he didn't deserve.
Yep.
So yeah, I would love him to win and stick it to all those people who don't believe in him. Gunther will win the title eventually either way. It's a no-brainer. So we don't need him to win the first time he tries to get it. We know he's going to be dominant, and we know he's going to have
in Germany. Next month? I think next month they'll be in Germany.
Oh, good
he
call.
Could win it there.
So he's gonna lose. So Damian's gonna lose it either way.
Oh yeah.
Just a matter of time. All right. Cool. All right. Let's move on. Second last match. We've got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins. So obviously CM Punk and Drew have had a 7-month feud at this point. Started the Rumble.
Going on 7. Yep, started the Rumble 6. Yeah, 6 months. 6+
and
months.
And obviously it's a non-interactive, non-match feud because Punk's been injured the whole time.
Yep.
Which is amazing. I cannot believe that they decided to go this way, but it's pretty much the hottest feud right now.
Yes.
Punk is doing what Punk does. Drew is the best version of himself in this feud. He's showing everybody what he can do. I've always been a fan of Drew, but I've never been like There it is. That's what he needed. But this feud is exactly what he needed. Very similar to the what I was saying about Liv Morgan. They both needed something to bring them up, and this feud has brought Drew up massively. And I think a large part of that is Triple H giving both of them the unscripted mics, because some of those unscripted promos are just they're damn good.
They are. I mean,
so good.
You don't know if they know what the other one's going to say.
Nope, it's very
and if
well
they
done.
have free reign to do it, and if the other person's really hot about it or not, that's the best. That's the best time.
And originally we were just going to get the two facing each other in a grudge match, but now we've got Seth Rollins inserted into this as a guest ref, which to me means that this feud is not going to be a one and done. This is going to be stretched even further.
Over months, multiple matches
of multiple months for sure. Probably culminating at Survivor Series is my guess. Maybe in a triple threat or something. Who knows? As for who's going to win, for me, flip a damn coin. They could go either way. They could go Punk. They could go Drew. They could go a draw. A no contest. Last Monday night on Raw, Seth Rollins kind of teased that maybe it's a no DQ match. It's up to him, which I think would be great. That's what they needed. Is just let them go and beat the snot out of each other, because that's what people want to see. They've been teasing it for 7 months. Let them go. I'm just a little annoyed that this might turn into one of those things. Like, do you remember Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and they had AJ Lee as the guest referee?
Yes.
It reminds me of that, where I'm like, I just want to see them fight. I just want to see them go at it. Get this third party out of there. You know what I mean? So that part of it kind of takes my hype level down for this match. But it's three of the best in the industry, so it should be great. Hopefully.
Yeah.
As for who's gonna win, I'm going with Drew, just because the dude needs a win. He needs something. I don't know whether it's the time or the place to give him the win. To be honest with you, I consider doing a no contest, because I can totally see them going that route. They beat the absolute snot out of each other. They beat the snot out of Seth Rollins, and they all just kind of lay there at the end, and Adam Pearce comes out, or whoever comes out, and goes, "We're calling it. It's over. It's over." Like they're just all like destroyed. That would be a decent way of moving the feud forward without giving anybody an edge. But if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to go with Drew, but it is my one confidence point.
Okay.
I have no clue. No clue. Flip a coin. What are you thinking?
So I'm thinking, I mean, like you, the build to this has been no less than perfect. They've had very minimal contact. Definitely a benefit of Punk being injured. They've kept Punk relevant in the story, even being sidelined.
Unprecedented. First time in WWE history, really. Besides, I think the only one I can think of is like Orton when he was injured, but that was like early on in his career.
Yeah, and that wasn't necessarily for a story. That was just to, hey, this is Randy Orton.
Keep him on TV.
Yeah, just keep him on TV.
Keep him relevant.
You can keep Punk off TV for 3 months, but people will still know that he's out there. They've done
it's crazy.
I know. They've done a great job. I could flip a coin and see who wins, but I'm thinking Drew really needs this win, because he's lost and lost and lost. So I'm going with Drew, and I think it'll be pretty clean.
Interesting.
Not really any kind of shenanigans or anything like that. I think the shenanigans would come from Seth Rollins instead of the competitors themselves. Whether it's Seth ends up knocking Punk down, knocking him out, or something like that. inadvertently. Like Stone Cold did when he was ref.
Yep.
I think between Shawn and Undertaker.
My thing with Rollins is like he doesn't care who wins, really. He just wants to see them, kick the crap out of each other.
Right.
That's why I'm still not, like I said, I'm not a fan of him being in the match. I don't think it was needed. I think they could have brought him in after, but maybe not. Maybe they have something very special in mind for the way this match ends. We'll see. What was your confidence point on?
That's going to be 6.
It's gonna be 6. Okay.
That's going to be 6 for Drew. Yep.
We are very different on our confidence points. It should be interesting how that all shakes out in the end. One thing I wanted to ask about this, because it's come up in the wrestling circle, is it goes back a little bit. So it goes back to Money in the Bank. Did they need to waste the Money in the Bank briefcase on this feud? Because Punk could have easily come out and cost him the match and not get the briefcase, but he let him get the briefcase and then screwed him out of the title. So now the briefcase is basically gone for a year. Do you think that was necessary to waste the title or waste the briefcase, or do you think it was like let's let the briefcase have a year off kind of a thing?
I think it was that. I think it was let's have one of the briefcases, or let's have this briefcase have the year off instead of the other one. Because the last one, it was Austin Theory had it for forever, and he ended up cashing it on the U.S. title
and lost. If I remember correctly, which is crazy.
But then also you think, is anybody going to cash it in on Cody in the next year? My answer is no. The only person who would, Solo, maybe. I don't even know who would have cashed it in on Cody and won.
Who was in the match? I'll look it up real quick. So
Carmelo
Drew,
Hayes, Logan Paul,
right? Andrade.
No, Logan Paul wasn't in it.
No, Logan Paul wasn't in it. Andrade was in it. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But then you think, whether it's Damian or Gunther, assuming it's Gunther, is anybody can cash in and beat him? I don't really see that.
So it was also Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. So, yeah. I mean, it's definitely it would make no sense giving it to Andrade. He's not. They haven't done anything with him yet. Carmelo Hayes, he's too young. He needs more seasoning.
Yep.
Chad Gable or Jay or LA Knight, I could see them giving it to him if the landscape of the championships wasn't exactly what you were talking about. If Gunther's going to have it soon, are you really going to have Chad Gable or Jay take him out with the briefcase?
And I wouldn't see Jay because Jay's assumedly going to be in the Bloodline feud.
Yeah, in the Bloodline feud. That's right. Yeah.
So
then LA Knight's on SmackDown, and he's not going to cash it out on Cody. So.
And they had already planted seeds for for Logan Paul and him by that point.
That's true.
So I didn't see anybody really taking that briefcase and doing anything with it for the next year. So putting it in that story, I had no problem with that.
Yeah, it's a good point. I never really thought about how they should really. Maybe they've done that every year, and I just haven't noticed. But having 2 briefcases does water the concept down a little bit, even though it's one's for women and one's for men. If you have someone use one of the briefcases quickly and the other one holds on to it, I think that's a good way of doing it, and maybe just bounce back and forth each year. So there's
and that's kind of generally what they've done. I think 3 or 4 times the women have cashed in on the same night.
Yeah.
I think 3 times they've cashed in on the same night. So I think this time, this year it was the women's turn to keep it for a while and the men's turn to, go through it real quick.
Let's get to our final match, which we all assume is going to be the main event. The WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends against Solo Sikoa. I don't know that we need to talk a whole lot about this. Are we both on the Cody assumption here?
We are on the Cody that he wins the match. Yes.
And I assume this is your 7 as well.
This is my 7. I don't see Cody losing. Well, I don't see him losing the title. That's for sure.
No. Yeah. This is my 7 as well. I figured as much. This match is not about the match. This match is about what comes after the match,
Right.
which we all have to assume is either going to be Roman or The Rock returning for the Bloodline feud. How that happens, they could go a few different ways. You know, they could have Cody win clean after having to deal with shenanigans from the Bloodline. Maybe Cody gets some help from Orton and Kevin Owens, although apparently they've been taken out storyline kayfabe, so they shouldn't be there to help. But you know, I think that's the one path that makes the most sense to me is Cody wins clean, finds a way to win despite the odds, and then Roman shows up and goes, "Hey, you failed. Time to give me back my seat at the table, or at the head of the table," and then they'll have the new bloodline versus old bloodline feud, whatever you want to call that. That's the only outcome I can see for that match. Anything else would be, I don't even know. I mean, maybe Roman gets involved and helps. Maybe he helps Cody win. I can see that.
I don't know.
I mean, you got to remember what happened to Paul.
Yeah.
And you have to assume that Roman coming back, he's going to be a face. He's going to get cheered.
He will be. Absolutely.
So if they're gonna book him that way, help Cody win, stick it to the bloodline, that starts their feud, and Cody shakes Roman's hand and kind of says like, "All right, thanks. I'll give you a rematch at some point." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It plants the seeds for something later down the line. Yeah. Is this where Roman and Rock return, or is this where Roman and the Usos return? They could do that. There's a bunch of small ways they could do it, but I think it'll probably just be Roman, and the Usos will return over the course of the next few months, leading up to Survivor Series, where they will actually have their bloodline feud, probably in a War Games match.
I would rather it be just The Rock coming back.
Oh, okay.
And when he gets back, or when he comes back, he beats down Cody. He comes out and beats down Cody, and use that as a way to build up Roman coming back even more. To where you're going to have a stronger bloodline. To me, that would make Roman coming back that much bigger when he finally does come back.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that, because you're right. This is like the start of building for WrestleMania, really, right? So are they going to build towards Rock Roman for the seat at the head of the table, or is it going to be the Cody Rock feud that Rock and Cody kind of promised after WrestleMania?
I'm leaning more towards the Cody Rock first, before Rock Roman.
Yeah, and they'll save Rock Roman for the year after.
I think it can be, team, Bloodline 2.0 versus original Bloodline, and have Cody involved in that at Survivor Series. As a way to involve Cody in that, still between them for the title come WrestleMania.
They could also put Rock in that match, like the new Bloodline versus old Bloodline, because they need 4v4, right? So like they could do, the 4 current Bloodline members versus Rock, Roman, and the Usos in the War Games match. Yeah, there's so many ways they could go.
I'm thinking it would be Rock and the 4 that are in there right now.
Oh, you don't think
Rock?
Oh, okay. I think one of them would have to sit out then,
or be 5-on-5, because I think it has been 5-on-5 before.
It has. Who would be the fifth though? Because it would be Rock, Cody, or not Rock, Roman, Cody, and the
Rock?
Usos. Oh, you think Rock would be a face? Well,
Oh
no,
no 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 no! It'll be Rock and the existing bloodline. You know, the
that's five.
Solo. Yep,
But then
yeah.
who's the five on the other
Versus
team then?
Roman, the Usos, Cody, and I don't know, Sammy. Maybe I don't know.
Hmm?
I
Maybe.
don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
guess.
guess that's just my wishful thinking rather than realistic booking.
Yeah, have someone come back to help them out.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, man, there's a lot of different ways they could go, but we'll have to wait to get answers on that. All right, so that was the last match on the card. How are we feeling about the card overall? It is very strange. I will point out they're all singles matches, and only one of them is not for a title.
Yeah.
Very rare for a PLE to not have a tag match or a triple threat or a 3-on-3, like something. There's nothing. It's all singles. Very strange.
Yep. I mean, as of when we're recording this, that's what it is. You know, there may be some
Yes.
changes between now and Saturday. You know, there's still SmackDown to air. You know, maybe there will be changes. I know there's 2 tag title matches on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah, they
both the
got.
men's and women's, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have the SmackDown men's titles as DIY defending against Bloodline.
Yep.
Who do we think's gonna win that?
If they
That
are
could
looking to
that
keep the bloodline strong, they have to give the win to the bloodline. Now they
right?
can, I mean, they can keep them looking strong in a loss, but I don't know for those two. I mean, those two aren't the Usos, so they need
It's
something
true.
to make them look good.
It's true. It
Um,
really sucks for DIY if that's the case because I think they just won the title. They haven't even had a defense yet. If I'm
I
not
don't think they
mistaken.
have,
Yeah, that
and
would suck for them.
it is in Cleveland where Johnny's from, where Johnny Gargano's from.
Ooh,
Yeah, which
interesting.
I mean, they definitely could have put that on on the SummerSlam card, you know, for Johnny to have a
Yeah,
pay-per-view appearance at home.
yeah. Triple H
That kind of
definitely
would have
likes
been
to
cool.
give matches more time. I feel like there's definitely less matches on pay-per-view cards than there used to be for sure. Which I'm okay with, honestly. Like a lot of the Vince pay-per-views were a little jam-packed, and that's why you had like really annoying matches that you're like, oh man, this is going to be a great match, and it ends up being like 3 minutes because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just weren't given enough time. So I do like how Triple H is organizing the premium live events and kind of like bouncing back and forth. This feud will get a match at this PLE, and then they won't have one on the next PLE, and then he's pretty good at balancing things out and making them all still feel relevant and not making someone not being on the card not feel irrelevant. I think that's the best way of
And I
putting
think
that.
for as long as I can remember, this is the first one that they've had both world titles, the U.S. and the Intercontinental, on the same
Yeah,
card.
all of the singles titles
It's
are on the line.
because you went a long time without having the Intercontinental title being defended
Yeah,
on a pay per view. So I mean,
yeah,
they're having
yeah. All
they've
of
got all the singles titles.
yeah, every single one of them. Yeah, that's a good point. It's almost like a night of champions.
Yes, or a battle of the belts where they're actually defended.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about notable wrestlers that are missing from the card because it is SummerSlam, and if you're left off one of the big four, that's interesting. That's odd. That sucks. And there's some
Right.
big names that are not on this card, and let's go through them. So probably what I feel is the most obvious one missing is the Wyatt Six. They're huge right now, getting over, and same. And then they're in a feud with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. Do they have a stable name yet, or is it just Chad Gable and the Creed brothers?
It's just Chad Gable and the Creed brothers right now.
Okay, gotcha. They need a name,
They do.
but yeah, it's weird seeing they don't have anything. But I guess the feud is a little early for the matches to happen yet. They still want to build through that a little bit. So I get that part. Maybe they'll have some sort of like backstage segment or something at the PLE.
I mean,
They
I
could
know
do
they
that.
do. There is a 6-man tag match on Monday between.
Oh, with the Wyatt Six.
Yes, yeah, that was announced for
Nice.
next Monday. Yep. For
Gotcha.
the
Cool.
for the three, the I don't even know the names. I call them the Bray Wyatt tribute band because I'm just not that big on him. I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm huge on them. Everything they've done so
Uh,
far, I'm all over it. I don't think it will elevate anyone except for Bo Dallas, or
and to me, I don't
Uncle
want Bo
Howdy.
Dallas. I don't want Uncle Howdy. I want Taylor Rotunda because after watching that documentary they had,
Yeah,
I want Taylor Rotunda to do good. I don't care about
I
Uncle Howdy as
I
much as I do
hope.
Taylor Rotunda.
Yeah, my hope is that they'll stop calling him Bo Dallas and they'll start calling him by his real name.
Yeah,
Bo Dallas has this like stigma to it from his Bo Leave days and all
yeah,
that stuff. So I agree. Bring him. Use this to boost him up and then kind of bring him in. Hone him in a little
yeah,
bit. He's doing an amazing job as like a successor to Ray. I think it was just this past Raw. Was it this past Raw? The one before? I think it was the one before where he got beat up by the Creed brothers and Gable.
and
Um,
just laughed, got up and laughed.
just laughed, and then
Yeah,
that pose that Bray used to do.
yeah,
You know,
mhm,
he
cool.
looks like Bray. Like everything
He
about
does.
him screams Bray. He's doing so good. I hope they continue it because this thing I was worried when this started. When this was sort of coming, I'm like, oh man, they got to nail this, or this is going to be,
It's
you know,
just a Bray Wyatt tribute band. That's
yeah.
I, I don't know.
But I think it's doing well. I
I
will
hope
see
I
where it
warm up
goes.
to it, but I hope
Yeah,
I
I
do.
hope you do
But
too.
that's all it is to me right now.
I think they do need a song. I think the ding 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 is going to get old eventually. But
Yep,
right now it's working pretty well.
and I hope it's a different song than what Bray's was.
Yeah, don't yeah, absolutely don't bring that in. Jey Uso is missing from the card, but maybe he'll be involved in the Cody Solo Sokoa stuff, maybe. But he also had that like weird flirtation thing with Rhea Ripley. I
Yeah,
don't know what the point of that was. That was really strange.
and I think it's
So,
August. I mean, we're still a little too early for me to kind of bring him over to a SmackDown storyline, seeing as how he's on Raw.
yeah.
Assuming that he's going to be part of a War Games with the Bloodline. I think it's
Mhm.
might be a little too early for that.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. And there
Yeah.
also was a backstage interaction with him and Sammy the other day on Monday,
Yeah, and
if
they
I
also
remember
keep
correctly.
having him always around when the Wyatt Six come out and he just bolts. He's kind
Yeah,
of just doing a lot of little things that aren't really connecting him to a story. But he's still relevant. The crowd absolutely loves him. He's so
they
over. It's
love his
crazy.
entrance. Yep, I think they're just in a holding pattern on him until it starts to
To the Bloodline feud. Yeah.
till the Bloodline feud. Yep.
Mentioned them before, but Randy Orton, Kevin Owens were basically written out of the Cody feud because they got the crap beaten out of them by the Bloodline. So storyline wise, we shouldn't expect them to be there. It's gotta suck for them as performers to be written off the show like that, but
It does
you
because
know,
both of them are just so good, and both of them
oh yeah,
are just so believable in what they do and what they say and how they come across the TV.
I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan, and it's not just because I'm Canadian, but I think he's great. I loved him as a Universal Champion, and I think it's a crime
Yep.
that he's been kept down ever since. I don't get it. Um, I have Tiffany Stratton written down here, but I think we talked about her enough already. She may get involved with the
Yep.
Nia Jax.
I'm thinking she gets involved. I mean, she'll definitely have a presence there during the match.
And then literally every tag team in WWE is
Every
not on
tag
the
team.
show. None. Not a
But
single one.
to come to think of it, we've already mentioned every one that I can think of.
There's Street Profits. They're not doing anything.
Oh yeah, Street Profits.
Who else?
Right.
There's actually a lot of tag teams. I'm okay. I know I'm struggling to think of them, but there's a lot of tag teams right now. Like there really is a lot of tag teams, and I'm just struggling. Okay, hold on. I got to pull this up because this is gonna bother me. There's a lot of.
I mean, there's Miz and R-Truth. Miz will be on the show.
Yeah,
Legado del Fantasma. Those
yeah.
4.
Yeah.
The LWO. Joaquin Phoenix and the other guy.
Ugh.
Yeah. AOP.
Finn Balor and JD McDonough are the freaking world tag team champions. They're not doing anything.
Oh yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
where's AJ?
They'll be Styles.
Yeah. I just realized. Where is he? Is he injured?
And within the last couple of weeks, he had that match in Japan with not New Japan, but the company over there in Japan. So before they had the Japan tour over there.
Yes, maybe they knew he wasn't going to be used for SummerSlam, so they're like, "Here, go do what you'd like."
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks. Let's see. Oh, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
I hate to see them off TV. They're just so entertaining. I mean, they need some help in the ring, but they're. Fan. Me too.
Yeah, I think he's good. Austin Theory, I'm still like. He has the tools. He's just missing something. For me,
he could be a really great babyface. He could be a great babyface.
He could do some great stuff for sure. Who else is missing it? I know there's other. I'm looking through the through the roster here. I'm trying to find out who else is missing.
And we're still waiting on people to come back.
Oh, what happened to? Oh, right. Ludwig Kaiser, he got injured. Ilya Dragunov, you're not doing anything. He's on Raw. I know he's been in some matches and stuff. They're really making him look decently strong, but he's not really.
Well, he had the. I'm thinking because he's been in a little program with Braun Breaker. I think he could be a good first contender for Braun.
Fair. It's a good call.
Because that last match they had, was it not this week, but last week, where where the ref stopped it outside the ring because Dragunov got knocked out, or for whatever reason they stopped it. I think they're kind of having him hang around as a way to have him be Braun's first feud as IC champion.
Fair. DIY we talked about.
Let's see.
I guess Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are in that women's tag match on SmackDown.
Yes, they are.
Assuming. So weird to see Bianca taking like a. I don't want to say a back seat, but like she was like a main card mainstay for so long, and now she's just like, here, we're gonna bring you down here with Jade, build her up so that you guys can fight.
That's fine. I mean, they're kind of treating her like, like one of the trusted veterans to get.
Yeah, she's definitely.
I don't know if she's younger, but I mean, she's, one of those trusted veterans. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the entire Alpha Academy, or what's left of it, they're not doing anything.
They don't belong on the SummerSlam.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to Pete Dunne? Oh, he's in that feud with Sheamus. There's another 2 guys that are not on the card.
And he just had a nice promo on, or not a promo, but a nice little video package on NXT last night.
Pete Dunne?
Yep. Pete Dunne.
I'm a huge fan.
It's going to be Pete versus Trick Williams.
Oh, that should be good. Why is he on NXT? He's feuding with Sheamus.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They're just bouncing people around, man.
They are.
Maybe they don't have a lot of tag teams. I'm struggling here. I'm looking through the list and I'm struggling. Tyler Bate, he was injured. That's why Pete Dunne.
He's injured. I think it's a tricep or shoulder.
Yeah, that sucks. Tyler Bate can't catch a break, man. Yeah,
No,
that's
but he
it.
caught a nice woman.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, New Day. Not that anyone cares anymore, unless
Kofi
Biggie
Kingston
comes
got
back.
hurt again.
Are you serious?
Yep,
Ugh.
he
What
re-aggravated his shoulder
ugh,
in Japan.
man. Oh, really?
Yep,
It
at least that's what they
sucks.
announced. Yep.
Bummer.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster too, and there's
Yeah, that was
yeah.
it. I got through it and I couldn't find any more tag teams, so maybe I'm wrong. There's
I
definitely
mean,
a lot
rumor
of
has it the
NXT guys,
Motor
though.
City Machine Guns are going to be coming
Yeah, I heard about
to
that. That's pretty
WWE.
cool. Alex Shelley and what's the other guy's name?
Chris
Brian
Sabin.
Chris Sabin. Yeah,
Chris
that's it.
Sabin.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would be really cool. I really hope that WWE, or I shouldn't say WWE anymore. I should say Triple H. I really hope Triple H puts some effort into the tag team division. I, for the
Yeah.
record, I do not agree with having two tag team championships. I think they should have kept it as one, just made a new belt. I don't think there's enough tag team
No, there's not enough
to
tag
go
teams.
around with more than one belt. I think it's there's one women's belt for tag teams. There should be one men's belt. That's
Yep.
that's my thought. There's too many belts to begin with. Splitting them up is tough. And we keep hearing these rumors of them introducing a women's North American championship on the main roster. So that's even more titles.
I hope if they do that, it's only one and not two. And not one for each show.
Wouldn't bet on it.
But
Women's United States
I know.
Championship and a women's
And a women's
Intercontinental.
intercontinental. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that I can vouch for a little bit more than the two tag team championships, because there's just not enough tag team competition, and you're never in the
There's not.
history. You're just never going to come across a time when there's two hot tag team championship rivalries going on at the same time. It's just not going to happen. It's just not.
No.
It's hard enough to get one hot feud for tag team championships going, let alone.
I mean, and how many times did they have to go back to New Day versus the Usos over the years?
And back in the day, how many times did they had to go back to Dudley's and Edge and Christian and Hardy's?
Yep. But at least they
you
were
get your mainstays, and then you stay with them. They can't find anyone these days to utilize, and I think it shows. Yeah. So that's it. Unless there was something I left out that you wanted to mention about SummerSlam, or do you think we covered it?
I think we pretty much covered everything. It's going to be weird next year when it's 2 nights.
Yeah, the first 2-night SummerSlam. I wonder if that's permanent or if that's just a one-time deal, because it's in Minnesota?
No, that's 2026.
Oh,
that's going to be.
Where's SummerSlam?
Where next year's is going to be. They haven't announced.
Oh, they haven't announced.
That's why it was. Yeah, that's why it was so weird that that they announced 2026.
Yeah, they haven't.
I could be wrong.
No, that sounds right. So that would mean that they haven't announced SummerSlam 2025 and WrestleMania 2026.
Right.
Yeah,
I know that deal that they announced with Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. That was for a Rumble, a WrestleMania, and a SummerSlam, with one of them being a SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah, they named the SummerSlam. That's the 2026 one, right?
Oh yeah. The 2026 over 2 nights. Yeah.
They didn't put a date on the Rumble or the WrestleMania, and I think that's because they're pretty far, in the future.
They said within 10 years. I think was what it said.
Yeah,
in the next 10 years.
My hope is that there's this gap for SummerSlam 2025 and WrestleMania 2026 because they're not going to be in the States. That's my hope, and they're waiting for the right time to announce that.
Maybe this weekend.
I would love to see WrestleMania, in the UK or again back in Toronto. SummerSlam you can take anywhere. I really don't care. It's for me personally, the big four pay-per-views are not the same as what they view as the big four pay-per-views for me. For them, the big four pay-per-views are the oldest ones, and I don't think necessarily that they're the best ones. Like I personally think that my big four are WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, and then I don't even know what the fourth one would be. Like SummerSlam's good, but Survivor Series I don't think is like this monumental thing that they make it out to be. I don't think it has been in a long time, honestly. The concept of
I
the
think
Survivor Series.
they're bringing it back to prominence the last
Yeah,
couple
for
of years
sure.
with War Games. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm with
absolutely.
you that
Have
for a long time it was not
SmackDown
one of the
versus
big four.
Raw elimination
Yeah,
matches. Woo.
1 month after a draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Believe in your brand. Yeah, who cares?
yeah.
Agreed. All right, cool. We're yammering on here, so let's get to the closure of the show. This has been Wrestling Renaissance, the pre-show to SummerSlam 2024. My name is TJ Leo. You can reach me at TJ_the_Leo on Twitter or X, whatever you'd like to call it. Dante has woken up and he wants to say hi. No, apparently he doesn't want to say hi. And Colt2K, you can be reached at Colt2K on Twitter /X as well.
Yes, sir.
And as always, for all of our podcasts, you can email your questions in to be featured on the show to co.op.podcasts@gmail.com, or you can tweet your questions at us, whatever you'd like. Do not forget to comment, like, subscribe. We will see you next week for our SummerSlam 2024 results show. We'll see how our predictions fanned out and how we did, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for being on the show. Episode 1 is in the books.
Way in the books. Only going to get better.
Only going to get better. All right. We will see you next week. We are out.
Out.